Hey everybody, I know you guys are usually used to catching me at the shop, but I snuck out this weekend to get a little bit of time with some of these cars out here. So I thought I would share with you guys a little bit of what I see when I go to a car show and some of the little bits and touches and modifications and stuff that these other guys are doing that maybe the judges probably don't even notice. So let's go ahead and take a peek. I only have a few minutes. They're back there doing awards right now, and I wanted to kind of do this while there wasn't 1,000 people walking around. Now here, I wanted to start with this guy. On top of this mint green color, that chrome work is legit super, super clean. There's not an ounce of rust in these little corners where you would typically find it. So it's very clear that this was completely reworked, maybe even replaced and then re-chromed. You can see right here, see the edge of that metal work? That's how it was cut, but that's not the way that this would have been done originally. It would have been stamped, so the cuts wouldn't have that texture. So that piece by itself, at some point somebody remade, and they did a phenomenal job, so good. See how there's 4 lines that go in that firewall right there? That is very traditional for the vintage air system, which you'll see right there. There's the AC condenser. So that seems like a minor thing, but the vintage air, they're the ones who make the aftermarket air conditioning units for these older vehicles like this. You guys see we're working on the one at the shop now, the Impala, but that is something that goes unnoticed very, very quickly. You get wowed by the chrome, this wild ass color, this cool truck. I'm sure it's got a dope interior. So this is a nice, comfortable ride, no doubt. While I stand here, casually standing with a standing posture of standing in portrait video mode with an Audi R8 in the background, I can't help but think, how cool would it be if we did a giveaway? But we're not giving away an Audi R8, because that's crazy. But we do have some Pioneer head unit, a DMH W3000 NEX stereo we are giving away at the My Online Car Guy 1 profile. The broadcast is being held on the My Guru app. You have to download the app, go to the broadcast, register, and everybody who's there on December 5th for the live broadcast at noon has a chance to win that touchscreen stereo from Pioneer as a gift from us to you guys. The broadcast is 15 Q coins. That's all it is. Peanuts. Okay, we'll see you guys there. Here in the original Camaros, this front bumper clip was rubber. So if you look right here, you see those little wrinkles right there in the paint? That's not a flaw. Somebody actually did an amazing job here. But what happens is, because that's rubber, if it ever gets bumped, those cracks happen, and you cannot do body work on them. You can't put Bondo or anything like that on there. It'll never keep. So this obviously was repainted, and those little cracks that you'll see in there, those are where the paint cannot flex the same way the bumper does. This is not a downside thing. What that means is that it's probably the original bumper, and that is a big deal. So another awesome thumbs up. Now this right here, boy, has to be my favorite. This one has so many subtle things. I believe this is fiberglass, not sheet metal the way the other one was. So while the other one was nicer, what you don't notice is this right here. Originally there was a bigger gap between the grille and the body. Whoever built this tightened this up, and they pulled the grille in nice and tight to the body like that, which would have pulled the whole thing in. It's a real subtle modification. And of course, obviously this is not chrome anymore, which I really like how they did the color match, but they kept a touch of chrome down at the bottom. Clean work, clean work. So here we got super clean Bel Air, very nice. Good bright work. It's got the two-tone green, so you have a little darker of a green and like this mint green up top. They redid the entire upholstery to match. Looks like they didn't change the radio. I don't see any knobs for the air conditioning. So it should just have, if you look, it just has heat. See that? So this thing is super clean. So, in case you guys have never seen these before, those thread in when that's like a cover to cover your lug nuts. So your lug nuts go in, then this cap goes on, then this little 3-star blade to put it on and take it off. You used to have a little rubber like hammer, so you would twist it on and then bing, 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 and that locked everything in. That was very traditional for the higher muscle car, super power, and doing it like in your flashy, flashy way. This has obviously been a repaint. Also very clean. Look at this rubber seal. So this window's been replaced. All this has been replaced. Look at those gauges. It's beautiful. It's very nice. It's always been something about the big sweeping fenders that have always kind of got me going. So here's a little thing to check out. Subtle. This one has stripes, right? Which you would think isn't that big a deal. However, if you look at the reflection up here on the top of the hood, when I lean down and when you kind of shimmy left and right, there is no ridge on the pinstripe. That pinstripe is flat. There's no ridge there. A lot of work in there and a lot of clear coat to get that on there so that the pinstripe is flush like that, so that the clear coat doesn't come and then have a ridge. So that's really, really well done. This top is beautiful. Whoever redid this did a fantastic job with that too. Then you get monsters like this. It's a straight up car. It's built to haul ass, plain and simple. This is very obviously a supercharger, for those of you who don't know, with a big ass blower, gigantic belt driven. This thing is an animal. Back in the day, man, when they wanted more power, it wasn't just done with better gas or a cold air intake. They just added more power, just straight up. Oh, there's that. That's not creepy at all. Gee, sweet, but Jesus, look at that. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Maybe one of you guys can comment and let me know what the hell that is. I've never seen anything like that in my life. A nice little classic Trans Am over here, hiding in the cut. Super clean. I don't see a lot of rust. So like, look, okay, so he striped around the window, which I think looks pretty cool. I'm not overly in love with the sticker joint there, but it is still a nice touch. The interior looks really, really nice. I would say somebody probably dinged that door and that was actually replaced after the rest of the car, because this fender and that hood and that bumper match perfectly. It's only the door that's off. It's a nice car though. We got this mammoth here, which I don't know if you guys remember, but this was one of our builds at the shop recently. This is the beast, in case you didn't know. Now you know. So this thing is a giganto monster. My head isn't even to the top of the fender. So we got Lambo doors here, vinyl wrap up underneath the hood, tinted lights, full vinyl wrap all the way around, huge bulletproof suspension, lift kit all the way around, some mammoth, full interior, and of course our treat to it, the dopest door panel known to man right there. The audio system in this thing is crazy sauce, okay? See what I mean, Jelly Bean? Oh, we got a light. Got a light that fell down. We'll have to pop that back in. Then we have this one, vinyl wrap by Devious Customs. We know the owner here, of course. He's been with us a bazillion times. You can't see it through the window, but we did a super badass steering wheel in this for the client. Looked like Batman's steering wheel. It's a very cool car, man. Very, very cool. I think, what did they were saying at the judges station that this was lightning bug, I think is what they called it. So look, check it out. See the exhaust there? It looks like he's got a center mount. There's old big boy Impala right there. It's a two-door. It's not like the one we have at the shop. I love me these Chevy and F100s, man, in the 55 era. See, this one here is another chrome one like we were looking at before. And you can see the cut is different. Even the bolts, like that's not the original bolts. That's not how this was mounted. You can see the quality difference. I'm not, again, I'm not shitting on anybody's stuff. That firewall is a good idea too, as far as being shaved. But you see there, that is Bondo. And Bondo is like clay and does not take well to the heat like that, the hot and cold transitions, or the vibration or any of that. Some good sheet metal would have done that. We could have put a nice bead roll in there and you'd have been solid, but that's a good budget way, if that's done in fiberglass, to get a clean firewall without being in it, you know, thousands of dollars. It's got the tilt steering wheel. That's so cool. Here's a little bit of tuner for you, local. It's kind of cool. So here you got the forged carbon wrap. It's a wrap, not the real carbon, but still not bad. I like the grill that's in there. It, contrary to the angle, this grill and this grill are the same grill, so that works. A little bit of touch up down underneath there. Nice little light kit going. I'm sure this thing at night is probably something to see. Nice buckets, removable steering wheel, a couple of gauges there in the corner. So there's that. That's what it takes to win second place at H-Day over in Maryland, in case you guys were wondering. So you got to watch out for Big Daddy with the 99 Honda Accord, especially with that amp rack the way that it was. So it doesn't compare anything to the amount of work that goes into these cars. That Honda has everything. Pretty sure that that is a Camaro LS3 6.2 motor. That is so awesome. You wouldn't see it coming. I used to have, I don't know if you guys know this, like those electric cars that had a little magnet at the bottom of the car, and so you stick it on the track and then it's got like a trigger and they just zip around the little track cars. I used to have one, like a badass, like a really badass one, and the one that I had was on this body. It had foam tires. Man, that fucking thing would just rip. So like looking at this is wild because I've never seen the Bel Air like my toy car, the Bel Air, in a two-door. So super cool to see that. And then of course it has the big motor. All right, well, on that note, I am out of here. I have to get to my lady before she leaves out of town. So I am done here at the show. Just thought I'd bring you guys with me for a couple of minutes. I don't usually do a lot outside the shop when it comes to YouTube or share any of that stuff with you guys, but I thought maybe it'd be a nice way to mix things up a little bit. So let me go say bye to my peoples, and then I will catch you guys on the next day at the DIY Car Mods with Elliot, My Online Car Guy 1. I'll see you guys. Peace out.